Yeah, we are not using psychodrama technique really. I mean, I apply some I apply some techniques from the psychodrama. Psychodrama changed also the way I understand myself and relations and group work, and also how I relate to the theater and to the pedagogical work and to the creative work. But it's not that I use that. It's my technique is now the psychodrama technique. It's nothing like that. And so the actors didn't need to succeed in anything. I would say except in in creating as artists and being playful and I think we've played together and created and traveled and yeah, made an exciting journey. I think. I mean, for me, every day is very exciting and joyful with these actors. I love them. I love the scenes that are appearing. I love to. I've worked so much on this material. I worked previously in Italy for a long period on Uncle Vania. So I've spent so much of my life with this play that I'm really looking forward to finally seeing it on stage. And generally, I feel quite connected to Chekhov. And so there's so much to discover, to explore, to play with. That's beautiful with such writers. There aren't so many. Uh, there aren't so many writers like Chekhov. So I'm discovering, I would say, this play in a completely new way with these actors, who can be playful and crazy and funny and truthful and believable and they're beautiful people and they're amazing actors. I really mean so. Yeah. It's always strange to talk about a performance. I mean, you make it for the people to come and be part of it, to witness it. So it's so strange to what to. Well, okay. There's much to say. Of course, I could be talking for days, I guess. Um, so Uncle Vanya, first of all, it is about several quite exciting topics, to me at least. One of them is the work. You know, we live, we relate to the work. So, I mean, what are we? Do we work to what to earn for our existence, or do we work to realize our dreams, or we don't have work because we are, unemployed, or we work in the name of or something or someone, or for the sake of something. So there's a lot of dealing with relating to the work. Or is the work sacrifice? Do you need to work hard, or do you enjoy working, or do you have the right not to work, or all this? So this is a topic which sounds quite, actual to me. We live in this ultra productive world, as though we are obsessed actually with productivity, and instead of people 100 years ago imagined that with development we will work less and less. In fact, it happened something completely different. We work more and more and more. So this is one thing. And so, for example, if in some other place, Chekhov plays, you have, I don't know, in Siegel, for example, you have the topic of the theater, of the art, of creating. Yeah. In this case, you have the topic of the work. Yeah. But what I somehow focused on or discovered in this process here in Vilnius was how closely this play is connected to the theme or issue of shame or embarrassment. So in psychoanalysis, shame is considered to be almost like a treasure, because shame is how we are relating with ourselves, how we consider ourselves, who we are, how we live, being who we are. So it's a very intimate feeling, and shame is connected so much to also to the theater itself. I mean, to being on stage, being in a follow spot, and so on. So shame is quite present in this story. Different types of embarrassment, of shame, of failing, and so people love to watch fails on YouTube. There are millions of them. So I think that this place is a little bit like this. It's like I think that this place should be understood like this. It has a comedic origin. It is written almost like on a clown platform, or based on a clown dramaturgy somehow, and it is very much connected with failing, with the wrong timing of things. Or wrong timing in the sense that you come in a wrong moment, or that you, but also in life, that when things come at wrong time in life, and they are not useful anymore. So usefulness is also a topic. Am I useful? Am I of service? Or what is my love here for? And what is my life for? Am I? But I enjoyed this. I think we all enjoyed this because we, as the audience, we love to watch characters failing somehow, because they free us from, of course, our own feelings of inferiority. So the objective was to create a lovable performance, so that you cannot, simply have to love these people, because they are, in a way, not miserable, but they have something that you can empathize with, but at the same time you feel above them, because they are. So I think that these roles and these characters that Chekhov wrote have a dramaturgical function. They can, that we as the audience can be somehow safe, because they are failing for us somehow. I don't know if I describe this well, but I think that the true spirit of the play is, for me, is alive when it is the whole thing is very playful and joyful, and not at all like I don't know, in some conventional Chekhov tone or anything like that, boring and depressed and so on. Although we are exploring very painful things and painful situations and stressful circumstances and so on. So, and there are many other things around the story. Yes, of course. I mean, it's very much about the fantasy, about projections. How we, how are we dealing with our own fantasies somehow, and what are we projecting on each other? So we tried also to explore the fantasy. I love to explore the fantasy in the theater when I do a performance. I wanted to make really a playground for the actors. So I think that with Chekhov you cannot make shortcuts, it needs to be played. It's almost like in sport, it needs to be alive. You have to find ways to that it is a kind of a game for the actors. So I enjoy the most when it is things are incredibly simple, or they seem incredibly simple, but they are exciting. So I would say this is the objective: how to make it simple but exciting. Well, I've been collaborating with Branko Hojnik, the set designer, for many years now. We did some exceptional work together. So he's a great collaborator, and he's an incredible set designer. And so in a way we try to do something new every time, but also try to use the experiences that from the past. Let's say that the space and this collaboration with Branko is a very, it's a fundamental collaboration for me. And in this case it was quite an interesting path, because we needed to change everything, because what we wanted to do was not possible. And I'm happy with what is being created. What to say about I mean, we did so many things. Are interested, absolutely interested, in how to play with this actuality on stage, because I think that theater is a play with actuality. It's transforming the actuality. What do I mean by this? So you have an actual person coming on stage, but the experience of this someone on stage is changing, is being transformed. There is this double process that's going on. On one hand, the real stuff is giving some associations, or is giving some thoughts, and on the other hand, something that happened here, or is being projected or reprojected onto things. And so the question is how is not to put on stage what is in the audience imagination. This is not the task. The task is what makes people imagine the most somehow, and what is the excitement is in the fact that you see just this table on stage, but actually your imagination is incredibly vivid or rich or something. So there is a strange gap or relation in between this actuality, and how I experienced fully this actuality. So this is in theater, we are not going anywhere. We are staying in the same room, in the same space, but we are bringing stuff. Well, we can literally bringing stuff, objects, but actually we are bringing content. We are bringing the past. We are bringing the fantasies. We are bringing psychological content, and so the space becomes full, and my experience of the space changes, is being transformed somehow. And this is, I would describe like this, let's say, the theater experience. So when we are searching for the set, we cannot search for some set without thinking of what will be our strategy of communicating. What will we be doing in that space? How are we going to approach? How are we going to communicate with the audience? And we explore, of course, what has been done, how people approach this play, what is usual, what is conventional, what types of performances are done in this theater, and so we try to gather a lot of information to make choices, to make decisions. And we usually try to do something slightly unconventional, sometimes very unconventional, sometimes slightly unconventional, to bring some kind of spontaneity, freshness, something vivid, something that is, that's a little bit exceptional or rare or exciting. I mean, you have so very different directors, right? But I would say that is the work of the director is not one thing. And so there are, I think, different roles, different aspects, different functions, and so on. And I think this is the beauty of this work, because the director is both, in a way, conducting, a group, and is both inspiring and leading something, analyze things, and understand, but also on the other hand needs to also be empathize and be and you work in these different fields because you work with people, with actors, and you work with the story, so you are dealing with dramaturgical composition, and you work in the space with visuality or visual, the visual, and you work with the sound and the music. So it's a very, as in Wagner, there's this term, the Gesamtkunstwerk, because it's like all the arts together. So you are dealing with this in this art. You are dealing with many different arts, or with many different creativities, if there is such a term. So I think this is the beauty, and you are dealing with very different worlds depending on the material which you are, working on. So for me, spending time with I've been exploring topics that I probably wouldn't have explored if I was doing another job. But in the end, I think that theater is a collective art. So it's a team art. It's how people are brought together and how they collaborate in an inspiring way, and inspire each other and do something exciting and meaningful that can engage the collective that is brought together in a, also the audience is a collective. So we are all together there around something that is considered important. So there are many things that seem to be important for a theater director. Is you deal with very, very different stuff somehow.